We're live with Fully Charged. That's the TF2 podcast with Sal and Cbear, and I don't have any intro music this time. What are you going to do about it? I know. People complained that it was too loud, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just hold off until I can figure out the sound levels, which is not going to be today. I'm stressed out. But Cbear, we got a show today. We got a show.
Yeah, you know what we should do? I don't know if it's feasible, but you should play the music for like a minute or two, like go live early, and then play the music, and then we come in live. Like, you take the music down, and then we come up, like, boom, and then all of a sudden it's us, and we're like...
Oh, we could have like a little moving graphic, you know, like all the news channels have like the with the news stuff with the name, like, you know, Fully Charged.
Right, and then we could have the big voice guy like we used to have on the MG podcast, like, Fully Charged, the TF2 podcast with Bear and that other guy.
I like it. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today? We had like an agenda written down, right?
Yeah, you... Oh, I have your screen that's actually talking. Oh my god, this is terrible. I have to... Okay.
Okay, yeah, you should probably stop that.
There's nothing worse than hearing yourself echo in your ear. It's like makes you want to vomit.
Oh, I can't do that. Nope, don't do that. Sal.
We're gonna talk.
Read that.
We're gonna talk just you and I for a little bit before we bring in our guests. We have the ESEA admins, Killing and Kalkin, who are both lovely-looking young men, by the way. I didn't think our ESEA admins were handsome young men, but they are.
Excuse me, that's a very low bar to set. I thought they were going to be stunningly attractive, and I was not disappointed.
I've seen a lot of pictures from the ESEA land, Sal, and I'm never one to say, like, oh my god, look at that collection of handsome, rugged-looking dudes. It's more like, ooh, what's that? And, boy, I'm glad I'm not there. But then,
oh, that's harsh. It's very harsh.
Oh wait, they're on already, so we're just gonna keep them muted, I guess, in a weird way while we go through our thing. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine. Well, we're going to talk about real fast. We have the first week of ESEA starting. I think we played 2 matches. I've casted both of them. There are a few things I want to touch on as far as those go. AG was in both of those matches. They're off to a rousing 0-2, 0-10 round start. That sucks for them. A lot of people said that they were, a favorite to make the LAN in 4th, but I think it's going to be. I mean, those are teams that they probably were going to lose to. Obviously, Mix Up, best team. Banny's team, probably the second best team. But,
yeah.
You think if they're a 4th place team, they get all round, and they didn't. So.
Well, so does that mean it's Laser Beams who are kind of the other one in contention for 4th? Are they going to have a better chance?
Well, I don't know. It depends who you ask. A lot of people think that Chess Club is actually the other team to watch for 4th place.
Okay.
I don't know if they hear that or not, but Killing just threw his microphone like on the ground and stomped on it. So
I hate this. Is fucking boring.
He's drinking and smoking weed on cam. Oh my god. So, yeah, I think Chess Club they have a really good chance. I didn't realize how good of a team that they had until I saw their lineup, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we'll see a lot come tomorrow. We have the first ESEA cast. We're going to see Laser Beams in action. They're playing tonight versus Vector, which is a game that I expect them to win. And I expect them to win pretty easily. I don't think that's going to tell them a lot, but I think Zensity's a little bit better than Vector, so we'll see how they compete in that regard. If Laser Beams handles them easily, 2-0, I mean, that's a really good start. I think they are a favorite to make it then at that point. Maybe they move ahead, especially if AG, 2-0 versus 0-2, it's like...
So that AG-BP match you casted real quick, that one, obviously, it was a roll. We're not spoiling anything for anybody here because you all saw it. You got like 1,000 viewers, right, on Bear TV. It was pretty cool.
Yep.
And then was that the one where everybody just started invading your mumble, or was that a subsequent cast?
No, that one was on Sunday. That was BP versus.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Oh, they said Mix Up. Sorry. Yeah, that was on Sunday. That was Bloodsire and I ended up casting that.
Yeah.
I was in the Don't Trip Mumble, and I was ringing for them before the game even started, and I was like, oh, it's 10 o'clock, I need to go cast. So I just moved up like 3 channels. I was going to bring DJC in, but he was also scrimming, so I ended up just kind of filling time by myself, and people just kind of kept coming up into my channel and talking, because the ESEA client wasn't working for like 40 minutes, so we had to kill time.
Yeah. Well, there was a bit of drama going on there, right? You had speaking of the ESEA client not working, we've got the people you complained to right here. But there was just a bit of I guess Don't Trip versus BP drama going on in the channel, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, what I did is I just opened up the stream. I was like, hey, you guys have any questions for all of these dudes in here? It was me and Bloodsire, and then we had Tyrone and Clockwork as well. I think Dummy was also in there for most of it as well. And one of the questions they asked was, what happened between you and Banny to them?
Yeah.
And Tyrone gave like this politically correct answer. He was like, "Oh, we're still friends, but in game it just didn't work," blah blah blah, as Tyrone tends to do. And then Clockwork I think the direct quote was, and I'm gonna swear, was he's fucking annoying, and I think that got back to them, and I got chewed out by a couple people over it too. So
I could imagine that's
it's like it's my fault. So.
Well. In some respects, I'm going to side with them, actually.
I knew you would, too.
Just because, as casters, right, we're streaming to a wide audience. And so it's somewhat your responsibility to make sure you control a little bit what's being said on the channel you're streaming to.
That's true.
Of course, you don't want people coming onto your channel and yelling that you're fucking boring. That's fairly important, so I'll take some blame for that one. But
actually, I didn't care. I didn't even think twice about it when it happened. I mean, I was in the mode of, like, what's this game going to be played? Actually talked to Sizer the next day and on Steam, and he got like in my face over Steam, like as much as you can, like, "Hey man, how dare you have Don't Trip in a game that we're playing?" And I didn't even think about it, but I mean, I guess he has a pretty good point. Like if you have two rival teams, you probably don't want the caster or whatever like in the mumble of the other team. I didn't think twice about it. It wasn't like I was like maliciously planning this because I don't care. But I was just there and it happened. But.
Yeah, it happens. These things go wrong sometimes, and you learn from them. And so,
you know what, Sal? We had a lot of viewers.
Yeah, that's true. And it was front page after a while, right?
It was front page during the game because you can't.
Right. Yeah.
Twitch John hooked us up. It was cool to see my individual front page though. I didn't think that was ever happen. That was awesome. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm in the boat of more drama, the better. We have a lot of boring ass people that play this game, man. The more fighting that we can get is good. I think those games, Banny's team versus Don't Trip, those are going to be the games to watch.
Yes, they are.
It's like they're going to say in game.
That's a clutch match. Yeah, right there.
Right? That's good. So don't get mad at me, Sal.
I'm not. Oh, I'm not. I'm just lecturing you sternly like a disappointed father.
Can't lecture me. I'm a teacher. But yeah. So one thing I wanted to touch on though, Sal, I don't know if you got to see those games or not. Did you?
I was watching. I was one of your 1,000 viewers, Cbear.
Well, I think that we had Twitch John and Xtine on like 3 episodes ago, mm-hmm. And Lang was there saying nothing because of the other two people talking a lot. We talked about the growth of TF2 as a watched game.
Yes.
And I thought pre-front page I had about 600, 700 viewers around there, watching a role game, impromptu cast on not a main TF2 channel. My channel, I have 600 followers around there. That's not. I mean, you have 3 times that, 3.5 times that.
Yeah. I only ever get like 75 viewers though, because they're just like, he's not going to stream anything important.
Right. I saw you had 100 viewers when you were doing your weird Sal doing his voiceover work.
Oh yeah, because that was new content that people didn't like. They were like, oh, wait a minute, he's doing something interesting. But go on.
I think it's cool, and like when we were casting for XTV last season, 200, 250 viewers. That's like what we expected. 600 viewers is like, holy shit, that's a lot. And if you think about it in terms of actual growth, it's like 150% growth.
Yeah, so let's just keep up 150% growth month over month, and we're fine, right?
No, but I mean,
well, if we could,
I didn't expect numbers to grow that much.
Yeah. No, that was big. It was absolutely big, and I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see a lot more people are interested in the beginning of this invite season. That are just like, let's go watch right now.
And none of the games have been marquee matchups at all.
Yeah.
Once we start getting into those, maybe we'll even see more viewers, and it's on us to keep the content coming and to keep casting, which I guess I'll have to do more.
Oh man, it's the worst.
You gotta step up and cast. I was gonna ask you, by the way, what is going on with the XTV? Are they not casting anymore? I haven't seen them cast.
What Xtine wants to do is refocus, and they are casting Highlander, but he wants to refocus onto post-produced stuff. So doing more of the moments of glory, more of the top 10, and catching up on those. All the stuff that requires really solid videography and editing skills. So that's what he's focusing on with XTV right now, and they still have a streaming group mostly for Highlander and UGC stuff.
Okay. What do you think about that?
It's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
I haven't done a serious analysis of it.
So what does that mean for you? What I mean, people are
Well,
you're just.
I've always been Sal TV, you know, and I worked a lot with XTV, but that doesn't mean that I was XTV. So I would sit down and try to work with them on, essentially, I guess I viewed myself as a consultant for X-Time. I would try and take charge of things when I could and just be like, hey, let's get this done, let's get that done. But at this point, the only thing I'm working on with XTV right now, other than the occasional impromptu cast, is the documentary. And that's a big thing.
The thing that will never actually be made.
It's got 2 sequences done right now, out of 8.
Out of
so
100.
out of 8 full length sequences. So.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that. I never thought it would be made, but one thing I want to say, and I don't know how exciting this is, but it does suck that EXTV is not casting more 6v6 because we're going for like the known casters who have experience because we want to get front page. We want to deliver consistent product every time that we cast on TF television and stuff. So there's going to be a lack of entry-level casting availabilities for people that want to get into it that maybe haven't casted before. I'm wondering how that's going to affect that, and I hope that there's some way that they are able to still get into it.
Well, there's a couple ways they can get into it, and I think it requires a little bit more in the way of personal initiative. We've got our 2 admins here just laughing up a storm, probably reading the stream chat. I don't know.
They want them to kiss, like they want.
Okay. We could do that. You know,
it would be like DJC before. You know, we got into a lot of trouble with that.
True.
So I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Casters. There's a couple ways they can get into it real quick, and we've almost used up our allotted time here, Cbear, before.
It's all right. Well, there's not a lot to talk about up until the ESEA.
The guests. That's what I mean. Is we want to get to them, but there's a couple ways to do it. I've posted a video that basically just said, look, here's how to upload a cast to YouTube. Here's the stuff you need. I posted 2 videos like last night or the night before, just for people who, because I keep getting that question like, hey, I want to cast. How do I do it? So I was like, well, here's how I do it, and so that's available on YouTube now. But the other way to do it is teamfortress.tv. Just stream, and you'll show up on... you won't show up immediately on tf.tv, but stream a couple games. Just do it and see if people like you and get your friends to check you out. And if they think you really have what it takes, they'll try to help promote you.
And 99% of the viewers will watch the laser beams rage at each other in the screen. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, I watch it too. It's funny. But yeah, no, anyway.
It's okay, though. It's okay. It's like... what I'm saying is if they want... if they want, if you want new casters, for instance, to be able to try themselves, then the way to do that is for them to go on their own, like I did. It's not hard to just start streaming.
It is, though, because it takes a lot of patience and starting from 0 and going all the way up. Something that you should be commended for, Sal, because it's damn tough. Yeah, it's...
I don't know, I just, like, click buttons, and then I'm...
Yeah, but most people don't stick to something. You've done it for years, and that's cool.
A year. Actually, I only started in September of 11, so it's been a year and a month or so.
Well, look at you. You're so... No, that is cool. I mean, like I said, I couldn't do it from 0 to hero. All right, so...
That yet.
No, I can't believe I did either. But okay, looking at this thing that we made up, there is some UGC drama, and we're going to get even more into that later. But for right now, Tangerine, my favorite Highlander team, they died. Yes, they are RIP Tangerine. So what does that mean? I heard that a lot of the top Highlander teams are dying. They've gotten that invite syndrome, and they're all going to die. And
yeah,
that's kind of scary. I mean, you're talking about Bonus, who was like the 2nd best team.
Right.
Tangerine, who's probably the 3rd, 4th best team. So how does that affect the whole Highlander thing? Because they're famous for not having teams die.
No, they have teams die. And
yeah,
they'll reform. Like, they'll generally know who's going to go into the top 8 platinum teams, right? It's still going to be your Stabby and your Huey Lewis, your everybody on MTS. Are they still staying together? I haven't heard anything about them.
Probably not. I don't know. Ask someone else.
Why don't you know these things? Teams will reform, and they'll very quickly have top-level talent up in Highlander again. It's not going to be a huge deal. The Syndicate was like the mix-up of last season. They rolled everything. So if we don't have that, and we don't have Tangerine to kind of be the plucky underdogs, then we'll just have a different story put together for the next season. It's not the end of the world.
No, I know, but it sucks that teams are dying. I liked Tangerine quite a bit. They streamed on DJC's stream. It was fun to watch them. I don't know. I was rooting for them, so personally. And Gorgeous Gamers, they're dead, Sal. No!
I totally didn't expect that, Cbear.
Yeah, I didn't either. Shocker. All right, well, we have 15 minutes or so. I think that we don't have a whole lot. It's kind of been a boring week as far as TF2 goes. ESEA started, and...
well, one last thing before we talk about ESEA is CEVO, right? And we want to encourage people to challenge a certain team in CEVO.
Yeah, bring it on, kids. Yeah. Listen, Muscle Milk and Mullian's the best team to ever play 6v6 TF2. The best team. We're coming back. 3/6 of our original roster, and we're adding in our medic is the one and only Sal. What? Yeah, it's going to be Sal. So Sal's going to medic for the remake of Muscle Milk and Mullian's and CEVO, and it is going to own. We're going to have a good time. And you guys can come.
You want to get killed by a community Ubersaw. That's what's going to happen.
That's right. Or if you want to easily kill our medic over and over again while we laugh, we can do that too.
Hey, I'll just get out ahead of the entire team and Rambo that shit. I don't care.
It's funny because I said best TF2 team ever, and we have a member from like the best TF2 team ever in here. So second best TF2 team ever. But anyway, yeah, join CEVO. I don't know when the do you know when the date is for the cutoff date for registration?
I want to say it's in January, but I'm sure our stream chat can help out. I don't have it open right now because I won't be able to focus if I have stream chat open. So I'm just trying to.
Okay, yeah, we want you to focus out. Yeah, so join up in CEVO. It's free. There's absolutely no prize. The prize is
the prize is the pride of getting second place because we're gonna get first, right?
Right, and the chance to play Bloodsire in a 6v6 match. You can tell your friends and family about it.
Yeah, yeah, they'll just be like, wow.
It's January 5th, by the way. Lame Effects knows everything about the game. He sent messages. So January 5th, you still got quite a bit of time. So find 6 dudes. The fun thing is, like for MMM, we're not going to scrim. We're just going to have fun. You can do that along with ESEA, and I encourage that. I had a lot of fun playing in CEVO back in the day. No prize pool doesn't mean a lot. Just find friends and play with them. It's a good chance to play with people maybe from other teams who you'd like to play more with and stuff. Do it, or I'll kill these 2 admins.
What?
Okay, well with that, I guess we need to talk to these 2 admins and see if they're actually as killable as Cbear seems to believe.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel bad that they've just been sitting here, like, absolutely getting ridiculed by stream chat and poked around with. I think the stream is ready for admin action, so let's bring them in.
Are you guys used to that, by the way, the jabs and jibes from the TF2 community?
Wait, can they hear us now?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can hear us, Killing.
Yes.
I mean, come on, we're ESEA admins. Killing is like invite level at taking shit, so.
Oh my god, you don't even know.
Killing has taken more shit, Sal, than anyone in this game's history. You could put, like, Mustard Overlord and Neo Russia and all the famous people that have been dumped on. Like, every season. How many seasons have you been an admin for, Killing?
I mean, it's going to be 3 years in March, so.
Yeah, I mean, everything that goes wrong, it's always Killing's fault. Yeah. F Killing. ESEA sucks. Killing's a bitch, and just everything. And
I love it. I eat shit for dinner.
So is it actually your fault when these things go wrong?
I don't know. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But the thing is that, you know, if it isn't my fault, I can't say it's not my fault, guys. Gotta take the shit.
If it's something goes wrong, we blame Killing, and then if something goes right, I take all the credit for it. Okay. So that's how it kind of works.
That way you guys like Kalkin, so like he says, hey guys, join ESEA, and your guys like, yay!
Classic good cop, bad cop. I love it.
Yep. So where do you want to start? We do have a thread open on TFTV, and I think we can still take more questions if you want to ask them. I could link you that, but my hands are here and not on my keyboard. But you can find that and ask questions. We had like 30 people ask pretty good questions, some awful ones, some okay ones. I guess we can also take stream questions as well. For me personally, one thing that I remember from back when ESEA started is Killing. You'd used to like message everybody and be like, please play in ESEA. I will give you freemium and I will do everything for you. Do you still do that? Tell me that you found someone else to help you do that, because I felt terrible for you back then.
I think it's this way or this way. But my best friend Kalkin actually like helps me out a ton. Like, it used to be, I don't want to talk too much shit, but you know, Lopert, he wasn't the greatest of admins and he didn't help me out that much, but Carson, like, he takes an equal load, so it really helps out. Because used to be, I was PMing like 60, 70 teams. It's not like that anymore, so now it's more like 35, 40 teams. Much better. Yeah, but yeah, I still PM them all during, Carson knows as well. We PM them like every single, if you're in open, you got in messages from me and Carson.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have an alternate Steam account that I use every season because I have so many people in my friends list that I need more friend slots to add all the people to tell them, hey, join ESEA, get your league fees paid, and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's an equal load at this point. Although Killing was giving me shit for last season. He said I took the smallest division, so we switched, and it turns out that my division that was bigger this season got more teams paid up faster than his, which had less teams. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure...
Dude, Central doesn't matter. Okay,
so, what... I remember back, and forgive me for not remembering exact numbers, I won Open once, and I think there were like 40 teams maybe? That might be a high number at the time. I don't even really remember. How have you seen growth, or maybe lack thereof, in 6v6 and Open and all the way up? I know that Intermediate's been a pretty good success overall, I think. How has the numbers been from non-invite teams overall in the last...
Well, I mean, going back to, like, when you won Open, obviously, like, I started in, like, Season 6, and at that point, like, I was just coming in after AFK left, and AFK was giving...
That's right, yeah.
Full team freemiums to, like, entire teams. So, when I, like, came in, I was like, guys, I don't really want to give you freemium. They're like, we did it before! So, I mean, it took me, like, 3 seasons to, like, wean people off the freemium. But, I mean, the numbers, like, they speak for themselves. They've been, like, constant growth, although, like, the summer season's always small, so there's like no real like big deal on that part. But I mean, this is our biggest season yet, and no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, our previous biggest season was season 11, which was 83 teams, and we're at 89 teams at the moment. So it's growth. It might not be like the growth you'd want, not explosive, but it's steadily increasing.
Yeah, no, it's good news. I think there's growth all around. I was talking about the stream viewership earlier. Well, Sal, I think that we should start bringing in the user questions, unless you have any for them.
And I think there's actually a good segue here, because when you talk about explosive growth, one league that does spring to mind is UGC. Explosive growth in the Highlander scene specifically. They've got 400 or 500 Highlander teams. It's some ridiculous number. And with 9 people per team, that's potentially a lot of premium, right? Of course, most of them are not of the level where they want to pay to play. But you could at least get a few. Is there some sense that you may involve like a Highlander TF2 league in the future, or is that just out of the question?
Well, I mean, okay, you want to?
No, you can go ahead. It's all you.
All right, so like in the past, for like I think it was like StarCraft 2, they wanted to try and involve a team league and a 1v1 league, but it kind of came down that we didn't want to do 2 different types of leagues. So also Carson, about like a year ago or something, he said he went into the HL, the Highlander community, and saw if there was like any potential for an ESEA league, and it looked like, I mean, he could probably speak more to it.
Yeah, I mean,
there wasn't that much interest. Go for it.
I last year, me and a friend got together and we were like trying to see if there was interest in a Highlander ESEA league, and there pretty much was zero interest whatsoever. Nobody wanted to join a pay-to-play league and pay premium and pay league fees to play in Highlander. So, I mean, it's been a year. It's possible that sentiment has changed, but going off previous experience, I know that we didn't get the warmest reception.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the game mode in general is more casual. Highlander is. I think a pay-to-play league wouldn't suit a lot of those teams.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised to hear that there was actually discussion now. Talking about the UGC, and one of the big reasons we started Fully Charged is I saw just the numbers of that people play Highlander. It's like, damn, there's so many people that play. Has there been any attempts to synergize ESEA with UGC? I know it's hard because they're like a free-to-play league, and you guys are a different, like a corporation that makes money. But there's still, I mean, it makes sense to try to synergize to try to grow the game in general. Have you tried any of that stuff, or has there been resistance?
Killing, this is all you.
Well, I mean, you guys kind of saw it on the forums. There was like some thread about Highlander, and you know that the UGC admin, Infinite or something, he came up and he was like saying all that stuff. I just want to like clear the air of like what really happened for that. So first off, it started around like the end of season 12, season 8 of UGC, I think, or season 9, whatever season they're on. And so I approached Marxist and I said, "Hey man, we'd love to give you some like freemiums just to give out to your winning playoff teams, just as a kind of thing, a little bit, so it benefits both leagues. They get some prizes, we get some additional teams, maybe." And so he said, "Oh sure, that sounds like a great idea. We'll post it on the forums. We'll post it on the front page." I'm like, "Dude, you don't need to go all out. Just post it on the front page, just a little note." And so he went, and it took him like a week or so. I'm like, what's going on? Because he hadn't PM'd me back. And, he said, oh, it's not looking too good. They don't really like it. I'm like, okay, we'll give you more freemium. Like, how much freemium? At one point in time, I offered freemium for the entire league. Like, you play one season of UGC, you get some freemium.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually what it came down to. And he's like, okay, I'll go back to him. And I'm like, dude, can you actually just let me, like, join one of your meetings or talk to some people? Because I understand, like, one person's voice can only go so far, and maybe, like, I'll be able to say something. Because I can understand how they could villainize me when I'm not, like, talking to them directly, and they're just getting these, like, these cold, hard facts. Like, he wants to give you premium so that they can join your league and kill UGC, which is not true at all. I kind of want to harmonize the two leagues, because I think it's really great what we have going that, people test out the 6v6 format in UGC, and then if they really like it, they come over to ESEA. And then they gave cop-out answers of, what was it first? Oh, yeah. They said, we don't want to lose our top teams to ESEA. I don't really what's going on. Like, first off, top teams in UGC are normally coming over to ESEA. I'm kind of just sweetening the deal for them to go to UGC. Like, if they were to imagine we can go play one season of UGC and get some free stuff to play ESEA, will make it much better for us. So, I mean, there was all that kind of stuff, that basic bullshit, and it just came down to it that apparently, as I'm reading on the forums now, is that they hate ESEA and they think we're pretty much the devil. That's kind of ridiculous, because this entire time, me and Carson have been like, you want to play that one season of UGC, you want to play 2 seasons of UGC, like, go straight for it. Have a great time. We haven't been trying to steal anything from them. Like, I didn't leak. I don't know how the information got out that I was offering the deal for the freemium. It wasn't Craig, first of all. Craig has nothing to do with this. It was just me. I'm not sure how.
Torble, right?
Torble, the head of.
Craig, yes. Sorry, Craig is Torble. He had nothing to do with this. And so I didn't leak any of this information, because I know that would, like, look pretty bad on UGC, as it obviously does now. And I mean, from what they're going off of, it looks like they want to, like, try and get teams and, like, compete with us, and, like, that's not at all what I want. But if they want to try and, like, go at us.
Are you gonna say "come at me, bro"? On
Yeah,
this?
Pretty much what I'm gonna say. I mean, you want me, like, they have SIVO breathing down their neck now, because SIVO coming back is, was the premier free-to-play league back when it was like TWL, UGC, SIVO. So, yeah. I mean, if you want us coming at you as well, I'm gonna give premium to entire teams if you really want me to.
I think that for just a tiny bit of balance here, because we don't have anybody on from UGC to defend themselves right now, and I know I'm going to get shit from Hein at the very least. And Hein's, on the whole, Hein's a cool guy. I think there's 1 or 2 admins in ESEA who are probably driving a lot of the decision making. Who?
You mean UGC?
I'm sorry, UGC.
Yeah, because
let's restart that one. There's, I'll get shit from Bubble too. I know. He's messaging me right now. He's just like. But there's 1 or 2 admins in UGC driving the decision making who definitely don't represent all of the admins. And
yeah, well, that's exactly just the thing was that
they're saying that I need to smile more, so okay. I'm gonna smile a little bit.
I wanted to just be included in one of their meetings so I could, like, at least talk to them. But, like, they didn't want to give me the time of day to even talk to me. And I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I'm not trying to do anything bad to UGC. I'm trying to like, if I really wanted to, I didn't need to talk to UGC at all. Fuck it. I'm just going to go PM each team. Hey guys, you're a top team. We kind of want you in ESEA. Here's some freemium. I didn't need to talk to UGC. I didn't even need them to include it in their prize pot. But I'm going out of my way to say, here, you can include it in your prize pot. But they don't want that. They want to try and, like, show us as, like, these horrible people. I'm not really going to buy it. It's not for me.
Oh, I mean, okay, so Sal, one thing that there's always been sort of like I'm trying to think of the right word for. There's 2 leagues. Like, there's the main league, which is now ESEA. When TF2 first started, it was SIVO, and then there was like TWL, STA, SIVO, ESEA later, right? And then all these North American leagues that were like for new teams trying out, like, hey, do we want to do ESEA? I don't know if we want to pay. Maybe we'll see how we do in this league, and then we'll go up to ESEA. I don't see why that's necessarily a bad thing for the league. If you're a free-to-play league and you're running off of new players, I think you should be reaching out towards pub communities and the non-competitive look, not trying to keep your teams away from ESEA. I think the best thing you can do is try to build the scene as a whole, right? So, like, the more 6v6 teams that are competitive within each other, I think that's probably better for the league in general. I mean, you're looking like no, Sal. No,
I agree.
I mean, I agree with you completely. Coming from my team just by itself, I formed Tony Hawk Pro Skaters way long ago, back when we actually started an STA 6v6, and we had an STA 8v8 team as well. And we moved on to TWL, we moved on TWL Div 2, we played in CEVO, and then that CEVO, like, main or whatever, I don't even remember the little intermediate division. And then from there we were like, oh, we're actually good enough where I think we can play and do well in Open at this point. So I completely subscribe to those ideas. I don't believe that we're necessarily even competing with CEVO, or we're competing with UGC, or we're competing with what was TWL. Having those leagues only benefits the community as a whole. It brings in more admins, making more of an effort to recruit more teams, which just grows the entire community. And then ESEA will see growth as a result of that.
So let's. Here's.
I think we have one of the UGC admins in chat right now too. So,
I mean, if you want, I just kind of find it ironic that this team that's doing everything for free are the ones that are trying to keep their teams, and we're the ones that are trying to make money, and we're giving out the free stuff. So,
there's a couple questions in our fully charged thread actually relating just to this. Question 1 is how do you plan to grow competitive TF2, and question 2. From Alfuncso, I guess there's this impression that you guys have given that it's like TF2 doesn't make us any money. It's all Counter-Strike because we have like 500 teams. So the other question was, any plan to stop losing money with TF2?
Oh yeah, so many plans. I mean, we're every season we lose money on TF2. Clearly everybody thinks. Oh, okay, go for it.
Well, I mean, are you allowed to share any of that kind of information? Like,
how
much are you paying?
Well-known fact.
Well, how much are you paying?
I don't have the exact
details.
Okay. We don't have the exact amount of money of like how much we make on TF2, but I can give you estimates. Okay. So I would estimate that we make somewhere along the lines of $15,000 every season of TF2, and then from that you'd have to subtract things like prize pots, which is about 10.5K. You have to subtract things like admin fees. Like we get paychecks, which is pretty cool. I like paychecks. So that costs money. You have to pay all the ESEA writers. You have to pay for computers and stuff at LAN logistics, all of that organization. And then you have to pay for all the servers themselves and the fees for like coding, all that other kind of stuff. So at that point, you'd figure. I mean, I could be totally wrong, and I could get an email from Torval like yelling at me for being terrifically wrong. But you'd say, okay, maybe we lose $5,000 a season.
Dang.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the long run, when you look at that $5,000 to run a league that gives pretty good publicity and runs pretty well, it's like you could just put that down as advertising.
So obviously, there's a reason why. Because if I'm not Sal. I'm not the businessman of this relationship here. He knows business. So if I'm losing $5,000 a season over and over and over again, obviously there's a plan for the future. So where do you? I don't know. You can't speak for the higher ups of ESEA, but obviously they must see something down the road with TF2, or else they would cut their losses, right? I mean, maybe they just like the game and they just like, hey, here you go.
From what I get is that Craig and Eric are both in like many things. This is just what I understand. Obviously, I could be completely wrong, but this is kind of like a passion project for them. And ESEA, I'm going to assume, is not a losing endeavor. And as long as they can invest in TF2, which they feel is like a valuable investment because it's constantly growing, and there is a big user base for TF2. So I mean, if all of a sudden 66 explodes, and maybe unlikely, but UGC is growing, and so is ESEA. All of a sudden it explodes. I mean, I'm going to guess that's going to be something that they want to be sitting on. So. It's not like they're losing tons of money, but they're losing money. But I'm gonna guess that they enjoy it, and I enjoy it. So
hey, we all enjoy it. We're here talking about TF2 on a podcast. We're like the biggest TF2 nerds you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's true. Okay. Well, I've always kind of wondered what the motivation was. I remember talking to Torbo a few times about it. And I know we have like a lot of questions about the PUG system, which has been such a massive failure of the ESEA TF2 for as long as it's been around. Sal, you're shooting your finger gun at me. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'm letting you take the shots here, my friend.
Okay.
Just go ahead and pull the trigger.
I'm just wondering, are they just kind of giving up at this point with PUGs? There was like a reach out to Sizer and some other people in the invite community like a year ago, maybe a little longer, saying, hey, can you guys please just use our frickin' PUG system? I think they started even dishing out some dollars to the Sizer to get people to play. What is going on with the ESEA PUGs, TF2 PUGs, and why aren't they more popular in your guys' opinion?
I'll take that one, I guess. So the reason that pugs aren't so popular, and don't know if Killing would agree with me, is because we have really good existing pug infrastructure already on IRC that it's pretty hard to compete with. Even though I think after we've put a lot of work into the pug system to improve it from what it was to what it is now, it's still kind of hard to get people to, move over from pug and A or TF2 mix and start pugging. So I feel like we might. Ultimately, the pug system might not be how we can get ESEA players to really integrate with ESEA, but something that I've been actually working on more personally with Enigma and Torval is we're going to try and work on revamping the scrim mod, because we feel like maybe a way that we could integrate the TF2 community with ESEA would be to get people to start using the scrim mod more actively, because that's a product where we could actually sell that, and that could be an improvement over what people currently have and are currently using.
IRC, right?
Yeah, which is basically just IRC and their own personal servers. So we could do something along those lines and get that up to snuff, and that's something that we're actually going to be hopefully rolling out this season.
Cool.
And that might be a way. So we're thinking maybe pugs might not work for TF2 and ESEA, but maybe the scrim mod will if we really improve it.
I think that would be a nice addition for some of the lower level teams as well. I remember when I was running a team, like one of the crappiest things about it was having to dish out the $30 a month for the frickin' NFO server because all the other server companies were awful. It's like if we had the servers that we were actually playing on to practice on, that would probably cut out that cost and make me more willing to play as well, because we could just, hey, we want to scrim, well, we got ESEA, so let's do it. But
that's a good point. I mean, you would be scrimming on the servers that you're going to be playing on anyway, and you already pay the money for premium during the season, so if we get people to use a scrim mod, then they have those servers and they don't need to be paying for their own on top of things. It would ultimately kind of like make things a little cheaper.
Yeah. Okay, asked and answered. Is there ever one more part, Sal? I know you're ready to go. Well, give me that look. You're gonna give me all. But has there ever been any thought of integrating IRC into the TF2 pugs? I know that's not gonna happen because of Counter-Strike, but it seems like it might help because that's what people are used to. I mean, but before TF2 Pug and A, there was the Gather system, which existed forever and it was awful. But people used it because it was convenient. IRC has sort of been just something people kind of latch onto when it comes to the pugs.
Yeah, we've kind of actually gone. We used to actually do, for those that remember, we used to do IRC support for like tickets actually on IRC, but kind of decided to move away from IRC. I mean, it's not entirely our decisions, but that's what it's been. So I don't think that any IRC support will be coming for ESEA TF2 pugs. I mean, I think there's some sort of a link that Sync set it up that if you're in like hashtag ESEA.tf2, it will say like if there's a new pug starting. I'm not sure if that's still available, but yeah, there's no IRC stuff coming for ESEA.
Okay, makes sense. Is there any plans to spice up the pugs in any way, or are you guys just kind of like
you guys join them, they'll get spicy real quick.
Well, no, my focus is switched from like pugs to the scrim mod at this point, so I'm not working with the pug mod at the moment.
Fair enough.
So speaking of joining pugs, I submitted my personal information form to Torval because he had me do the show last Sunday, right? That Sunday night, whatever it was, the weekly recap.
You looked great on that show, by the way.
Well,
next to those like behemoth men, it was like, damn, Sal looks good right now compared to...
That's harsh. They were pretty cool dudes.
I was just kidding. You're right, but you look good.
But I submit this PI form, and it's like it's asking me what's your ESEA ID, and I was like, I don't have one. I've actually never played ESEA, so
you really don't have one.
Really? I really don't. I may have signed up for it at one point, like a year ago, but I've never used it. Yeah. You know.
Well, that's nerdy, Sal, but it makes sense. Do you have another question ready to go? I'm looking at the thread
because
right now.
I am looking at the thread as well, and one question that's just kind of off the wall was, have you guys ever looked at making medals or some other in-game item that shows you've played in ESEA?
I remember we were in talks with Valve quite a few times. Like, you know, sometimes we want to get posts on like the front page, just like ESEA, invite cast, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, I've suggested it a couple times to a couple of people, but it seems like our talks always break down with Valve. I mean, I'm gonna try and message Torval again or anyone to try and get that stuff going, because I know it's a really big motivator for those lower level players that really like the cosmetics. Yeah. But I mean, hopefully we can get it going, but for now there's nothing really in the works.
I mean, higher level players love their cosmetics too, though, right? You gotta have the unusual hat.
Yeah,
I know. But it's clear. I mean, yeah, sure. Yes, I agree.
Okay, forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you even know the answer to this, but there's always been a reluctance from Valve to back people trying to make money off TF2. Like they'll sponsor the medals for free leagues, but they probably wouldn't want to do that for ESEAs, and that's sort of
that's what I kind of figured. But I mean, I don't have a definitive answer.
Well, for UGC, for instance, they do all their own modeling work, right? It's Ruskido, in fact, who's done a lot of their models for the medals themselves. So I mean, if you approach them and just say, look, here's a medal, it's already like ready to go in the game, just like Steam Workshop style. Maybe it makes it easier on them. I don't know.
That's actually a good idea.
One of you Steam Workshoppers, get on it.
Yeah.
I've already got like offers live to start like making metal.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Just be Sal's face dangling from a medal. More questions, Sal? What's going on?
No, that was the last one I even wanted to ask.
Well, okay. Well,
what? You sound like you got one.
No,
but we did go over a lot of the topics that we wanted to cover. We've covered the big UGC thing, which is there's a lot of friction there, but it doesn't have to be there. It sounds like people are willing and working.
Yeah, that's stupid, man. Like, can we all just get along? Like I said in the very beginning, a synergistic relationship makes so much more sense than fighting amongst ourselves. It's like, come on, like who cares, If you have a 6v6 league that's not ESEA in North America, you have to understand that once teams get better, they're going to be watching the ESEA invite teams. And they're going to want to play in ESEA. That's what they're going to want to do. They're saying, hey, we're pretty good. Maybe we can go win open. That's what they're going to do. It's not a big deal. It's not bad. It's fine. Just get over yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, that was probably a little harsh. We should get Infinite on, and I will fight him on stream.
I'd love to.
Where's he
see
from?
that.
I'll drive over there. I'll meet him in a parking lot. Let's go. No?
Okay.
Add to the documentary.
Yes, that'd be good. I'd appreciate it. I don't think it'll fit anywhere. No, you know what? It'll totally fit. Totally fit. We can have
the end credits would be Infinite whooping my ass.
Oh.
He's like apparently gets a huge guy just beating me up.
Here's a big question. What do you guys know about this whole international deal for Counter-Strike? That you're bringing in like 4 teams from Europe, right? To compete?
Yep. At the next line. Yep. Very exciting stuff.
So, was there a certain financial monetary threshold over which Torbil had always wanted to do that, or how does that work?
You guys know as much as I do.
There's a post
unless
by
Carson
Kane.
knows something more.
No, I just remember when Eric was talking about it. There's a post by Kane where he's talking about like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result because they've tried approached Europe multiple times and it hasn't really worked. So he's trying it again to see if he can make it work, and he's seeing if he can learn from his past experiences and maybe make it work with Go, because Go is really huge right now. We have something around the lines of like 450 teams. So, I mean, it could definitely work this time. We'll see, though.
Okay. Well, of course, we had just this summer had our first ever international TF2 thing with Mix-Up and LG going over and stomping on all the Euro trash out there. It was a fun time, and we're hoping that we can get more of that in more international TF2. But the problem is always money. It's always finding the monetary will and power and all that to get teams to be going. So I hope it happens. With TF2, it sounds like if it's still losing money, it's probably not going to happen for TF2 just yet. But
someday, baby.
Someday.
You and I, Sal.
Season 14.
Season 59 will be old and older somehow. I have a question actually that strictly for me to know because I'm interested. We're finally starting the casting partnership thing with ESEA. And has there been any talk about sort of, we've always kind of like wondered why they don't care more about the streaming thing. I guess it's not important to them. Are they taking it more seriously now at ESEA? Like, hey, we want to actually get into streaming and maybe expanding that more into the future? Or they just concentrate on premiums and pugs and stuff?
Well, actually, I spoke to Craig about this. It was about streaming. I can't remember exactly the context, but I mean, you guys know that to make money from streaming, it's running ads. It's like such little money that they're not exactly. I mean, of course, it's great to get the exposure and to get your sponsors out there, but it's not going to be something they're going to like focus on. Of course, that's like news part. So ESEA News is like actually separate from ESEA that runs the league and stuff. So that's all up to them. You'd be better off like talking to RK probably, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna. I mean, as you can see, they're expanding it, and they're including Cbear, one of our great casters. So hopefully that can go somewhere and get more names because everyone loves Cbear. So.
I guarantee you the TF2 stream is going to consistently be on the front page of Twitch and get 1, 2, 3,000 viewers the entire season. You guys are you're gonna like that.
Hey, who doesn't want to see Arc?
And I mean, that's something like even Enigma, when he made TFTV, realized, it's pretty hard. There's a lot of barriers to entry to watching things like TF2. You've got to have TF2 installed. You have to know the source TVs. You have to know where to go. But when you have things like streaming, you can just click the stream and, hey, you're watching it, and it's often being casted, too. It's really easy to get into. It's really low barriers of entry. So that's one way to really grow the game. And so I think ESEA is slowly starting to catch up on that. They're learning.
Okay.
Cool. Well, is there anything else you want to ask, or do you want to let these fine young men do shout-outs?
I think they should do shout-outs, man. I think it's time.
Okay, well, let's start with Kalkin. Kalkin, you want to give some shout-outs?
One of my friends wants me to give a shout-out to anime, so we're gonna shout out to all the old THPS members. Shout out to all Check 6, Harble, Uv, Valen, Dave AC. Valen again because I haven't talked to him in like years. Shout out to Killing my. Where are you? You're over there. Shout out to Killing. No, wait. Yeah, I got it right. Okay, shout out to Killing my ESEA buddy. He's the bad cop. He gets a lot of shit for what he does, but I mean, he really does do a lot of hard work. And he's a really good guy. So try to go easy on him.
I think he likes it rough. Go hard. Go hard on
him. So true, though. It's so true.
All right.
Pile it on.
Killing, you're up, buddy.
Oh, no, okay. I didn't mean to intentionally...
not done.
No, I didn't mean to intentionally leave TLR out. I'm sorry. No, shout out to TLR. We also haven't spoken in quite a long time. But, it's pretty much we're all over that kind of whole trophy stealing mess. He's grown up. He's a bigger man now. And I think people should stop giving him shit for all that.
I'll tell you right now, they're never going to stop. But if he takes it, if he just gets in on the joke and it's just like, yeah, I was stupid back then, wasn't I? Most of it'll go away.
Everybody's seen the picture, right? That RK took at LAN, where like TLR, it looks like they're trying to like grab TLR.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Classic. I love watching that. I was laughing so hard.
All right, so are you done, Kalkin? You wanna?
Oh yeah, no, I'm done. I just saw the stream chat exploding, and I was like, oh, whoa, gotta stop this.
Stream chat's been extra trolly today, Sal. I don't know if you haven't been watching, but I'm impressed.
And I was in the mumble with Enigma and Platinum earlier, and I mentioned we were having Killing and Kalkin on. They were just like, do you want moderators in the chat? I was like, wait, didn't think about that. Yeah.
I don't know. It's extra trolly. I'm all right with it. I understand the urge to troll a Twitch chat as much as anybody, so that's fine. But you got to understand that you're dealing with me on mod, and I will pop you, I will ban you, I will time you out faster than Sal can shave.
It takes a while, actually.
Yeah, no. So, all right, well, let's let Killing do his shout-outs. Then I'm going to give out... I have a really awesome hat to give out. I haven't said anything about this yet. I showed it on my stream before, so if you were watching me jump, you saw the hat. It's a really awesome freaking hat. So, let Killing do your thing.
Sure. All right. I guess, I don't know, shout-out to everyone from Lore's Merry Med. You guys all know. Okay, whatever. Obviously, Kalkin, my better half. I think I'm pointing the wrong way, but whatever. Actually, I just got finished my semester today, so I'm going to be streaming a bunch on twitch.tv/killing123. I'm going to try to get Grandmaster for StarCraft. I've got broken top 1,000 of Masters, so hopefully I can do it. So check it out, or if you want to call me an asshole, if that's your thing, go for it.
Okay. Cool, man. Thanks a lot, you guys. Of course, Killing and Kalkin today on the show. Been an awesome time here on Fully Charged, and we're very glad to have discussed ESEA and kind of the future of TF2 in a very specific sense. Cbear, are you going to take us out here, or what are we going to do? We're going to cut the stream for a second for YouTube.
No, I just want to remind all the people who are watching live and on the VOD, if you catch it before Thursday at 10 o'clock Central, so 11 o'clock Eastern, that you should watch the ESEA stream for TF2. I want to say that the other two games combined barely got around 100 views tops while they were playing, and I want over 1,000.
That's not even a tall order anymore for TF2. That's doable. I think you should call for something blowing out of the water. Let's do 2,000 for the opening ESEA stream. Let's do it.
Okay, so if we get over 2,000, then something good will happen. I don't know. You threatened to sing to them once. I'm not going to sing to you because that's bad for everybody. But I'll punch Killing in the face because I know everyone wants to see that.
The fuck is this shit? It's because I'm Jewish.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cut the VOD here. We're going to do some hat giveaways after this. So if you are watching live, it's your lucky day. If you're not, maybe you should consider, just not being European. Sorry.